His House is a British horror movie released on Netflix in 2021, directed and written by Remy Weeks in his first writing and directing credit, starring Wunmi Masaku and Sope Dirisu. There are a couple of other actors, including Matt Smith, who plays a caseworker in this film, but they're quite minor. So the two main characters are played by those first two actors. Their characters are named Rial and Bol. The plot of this movie revolves around an asylum-seeking couple from South Sudan fleeing from a war-torn country. They're given asylum by the United Kingdom, they're given a house to live in, they're given money to live, they're given a caseworker to help them with anything they need, but a few days into moving into that home, they find that they are now being haunted by a vengeful spirit. Now this movie, the setup for that sounds like a plot that you've heard a million times over in horror movies. And to be fair, it's a pretty basic plot. The difference with this film though is that it leans less into jump scares and gore and things like this, and it deals more with the psychological horror that asylum seekers have to face and live with every single day. So the things that they've already seen in the country that they've left, those things don't go away. It stays within them. We don't know what a lot of asylum seekers had to go through to be able to get to a country, you know, where they're less likely to obviously be hunted down and shot or killed or bombed or whatever. And the performances here to really portray that are amazing. The two lead characters and the actors who play them, awesome. You can really tell that these seem like people who have lived through this sort of thing. The scares in the house are really creepy and they're built up with suspense. So rather than just chucking a jump scare out there just to get a really cheap scare out of the audience, this one really ramps up the tension. It builds it up slowly. There's a moment where, if you've ever seen that movie Lights Out, or that little video that came up on Facebook years and years ago, where there's the entity or the demon can only move towards you during the dark. There's a little homage to that in this film. Now the entity in the film does a really interesting thing where it doesn't really haunt both of the characters. It aggressively haunts Bol, who is the husband. On the other hand, for Rial, his wife, it starts to mainly just talk to her and feed her lies and try and get her to turn against her husband. Her horror is not visual towards the entity. It's more that the entity is trying to make her scared of her husband in the worry that he's going to do something to her. During all this, you've got the stresses of trying to assimilate into a new country. Bol is upset because his wife doesn't seem to be trying to assimilate into this country that they've gone through so much to try and get to seek refuge to, that he obviously becomes frustrated. He starts to get annoyed and he's like, why are you not happy for us? Why are you not trying to enjoy life here in London or in England? The visuals for this film are awesome. The scares are really good, super suspenseful. Cinematography is awesome. The sound in this film is really good. I was watching this at midnight, with all the lights off, and just like the little muffled noises that you can hear that they've added into the mix, whether it's people in the apartment block who are talking or laughing, you can hear cars going off, you can hear little skittering from the entity, you can hear a lot of things in this film, and that's what good horror movies do. They build that suspense. They use every part of filmmaking to put you on the edge of your seat, to freak you out, and this film does it really good, and it only does it in an hour and a half. Like, this film's short. This is really good. Everything about this film is super tight. The story is really good, the script is really good, it's acted really well, and it doesn't run for too long. A good horror movie doesn't go for 2.5 hours. It's there to scare you, it's there to freak you out, and if it does a good job, it'll do it quickly, and then you'll get out of the cinema, or the movie will end. So overall, this movie for me was an 8 out of 10. If you guys like horror movies, if you like thrillers, if you like anything that's mildly scary, even if you like dramas, this movie is a character study on a young couple who are going through really human emotions. This movie is really good, guys. I recommend you go and watch it, and I'm probably going to watch it again, honestly. It was that good. I really had fun with this film. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, let me know, and I'll see you on the next one.